think about the temptation of Jesus in Matthew and in Luke chapter 4. Think about the temptation. What does Satan offer Jesus in the wilderness? I'll feed your belly, you're hungry. Just say it. Say it. The stones will turn into bread. You can have bread, not a problem. Just do it. No big deal. Throw yourself off the high thing. The angels of God will minister to you. Not a stone. You won't even stub your toe on a stone. You'll be fine. Shows them all the nations and their glory. It's mine, says Satan. All the glory of the nations is mine. I will give it to you, Jesus. I'll give you all power, all glory, all authority over every nation if you'll just bow down and worship me. The temptation was one of authority. That was the ultimate temptation, was authority. Take it. Take the authority. Take the power, Lord Jesus. Take it. But Jesus would not. Worship the Lord your God and him alone. Have any of you seen the movie Dune? Did you see that? Gosh, where have you people been? My wife's seen it because I made her watch it at least once. Dune. You've seen it? You see the sequel? Dune 2? Didn't see the second one. Yeah. There are certain movies that are a cultural moment. When a movie comes out, it creates a cultural moment. Star Wars was one of those. Star Wars was a cultural moment. And nothing would ever be the same again after Star Wars was aired in 1977. When it comes to entertainment, when it comes to television, when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to special effects, all kinds of things were revolutionized by Star Wars. The Matrix was another one of those cultural moments where something about that movie, that story, and the way in which it was told utterly revolutionized the way we see, understand the world, and the way movies are made. A real cultural moment. Well, the Dune films were again such a moment. Another moment. And we can go into the reasons why and all that, but I want to tell you what's at the heart of that film. Are you aware of the books by Frank Herbert? Oh my gosh, you people live under a rock. Unbelievable. So the story of Dune is a Messiah story. It's a story about an oppressed people who are a slave race, who live on a distant planet, who are enslaved by all and sundry, who come to their planet to make lots of money on the backs and out of the flesh of the poor servant classes who live there. And they have a prophecy amongst their people that there is coming a Messiah who will release them, who will set them free from their slavery and from their oppression. And so the story of Dune is the story of this Messiah. And it is fascinating the way it was told. There are certain differences. There was a movie in 1984 by David Lynch, which was fantastic, well worth watching. If you're into that kind of thing, I recommend it to you. But there was a new movie made 2021 through 2023, I think, which told the story slightly differently. And the hinge point for the difference of the story was this. There is a moment when this young messianic figure, young guy is in his teens, by the name of Paul Muadib, right? They think he's the Messiah, and he's been embraced by these desert people called the Fremen, so they're the slave people. But he has certain challenges that he needs to overcome in order to be fully accepted as one of the people. And one of those challenges is to traverse a desert on his own, a wilderness on his own, to spend several nights on his own in a desert wilderness. Sound familiar? Yes. Now, Paul has had an argument, a physical confrontation with one of the leaders of this people and has in fact killed him. It was necessary for him to do so by the laws of that people. He felt guilty about it burdened him, and he kept seeing visions of this man haunting him As he's about to go into the wilderness, the leader of the Fremen people says to him, do not listen to the jinn of the desert. Now, jinn is the ancient word that we get genie from. And a jinn in Arabic culture is a demon who's manipulative, promises you all kinds of things, but never delivers on what they promise. There's always a barb, right? You know the story, rub the lamp, the genie comes out, you get 3 wishes and it always goes wrong. You know, it's the story. So the jinn is a demon that inhabits the desert. And the leader of the Fremen says, don't listen to the jinn of the desert. They will mislead you. Paul Muadib, the messianic figure, goes out into the wilderness and is tempted by the jinn, who takes the form of his adversary. And the temptation is to take up his messianic role by force, to start a holy war, a crusade for the Fremen to free them. The entire story of Dune is the reflection of the story of Jesus. The question being asked is, what if the Messiah embraces power in an earthly way, as opposed to the embracing of the power of the Messiah of the Bible and the way of God? That's the story. The entire story runs on that. It's posed as that. And I can tell you, it doesn't end well. An entire galaxy goes to war led by this Messiah and his bloodlust. He started out with all the best intentions, but because he saw authority in the way that the world sees authority, he became the devil himself. Jesus, tempted in the wilderness, does not take up the power and authority by force at the temptation of the devil. Instead, he resists the devil. He commits himself to God. He says, worship the Lord your God and worship him alone. The devil flees for him, looking for a more opportune time. The angels minister to him, and Jesus leaves the desert, not in the power of man, but in the power of the Spirit. By the time you get to Matthew chapter 28, Jesus has been crucified, he's been resurrected, he's meeting with the disciples, he's about to be ascended. We know the passage well. What does it say? All power or authority in heaven and on earth has been granted to me. He refused to take up the power and authority offered to him by the devil. He refused to take up the glory for himself in a way that the world would see it, in a way that was fleshly. Instead, he committed himself to God. He resisted the devil. He worshipped the Lord as God, and he was granted all power and authority in heaven and earth as a result. You see how topsy-turvy the gospel message is. It's the complete reverse of the earthly message. The message of Jesus is the one who pursues their life will lose it. The one who lays down his life for my sake shall gain it. That's the life he lived. He laid down his life for the mission granted to him by the Father. And the Father granted him all power and authority as a result.